John, what experience have you had that's really made you the tech that you are today?
I had a fun time with my first solar install. I was in the bay. I had just gotten everything wired up, and all the lights are clicking on the controller, showing that it's getting voltage from the solar panel. I've got my meter on it. I see voltage. I wasn't sure how much I should see, but I was seeing about 30, 40 volts. Then I went to check at the battery. I wasn't seeing any power coming into it, nothing coming off the charge controller, and I wasted a lot of time trying to figure out what I had wired wrong. I thought maybe it was a bad controller, so I went and grabbed a spare. I just forgot the most basic thing about a solar panel is that the name is solar, meaning sun, not just light. Yeah. The shop lights were bright enough to make the panel do something, but they're being LED lights, they don't give a full spectrum of light, they're just giving visible light. And so it was enough to make it kind of do things, but not enough to actually give amperage, give real charge. And so I wasted far more time than I ever should have on that first install because I forgot the most basic thing, that if you have actual sunlight on it, you have actual power. Exactly. But just reflected light from something or overhead lights, they're enough to make you think you have it. So the key to, when you're checking for power is to always remember what kind of power you're looking for, where you are, and that having voltage does not mean you have amperage. Seeing amperage does not mean you have sufficient voltage. You always need to make sure both are there.
For me, one really important story that always stands out to me is just the importance of taking your time and really just checking your surroundings when you're working on things. So I had never worked in the RV industry, and I was 3 days into the RV industry, and I was installing a hydraulic pump on a big Class A motorhome, and it was only about 1.5 feet away from 6 12-volt batteries. And when I was wiring everything up, I went to hook the power wire from the battery to the hydraulic pump solenoid. And I was using a borrowed wrench because, of course, I was day 3, so they weren't my tools. And when I went to tighten it, I turned my wrench and I hit the casing of that motor on that hydraulic pump, and it shot sparks everywhere, tripped the breaker, and then we had to break the wrench off from the motor from where it welded itself to the wrench, to the motor. So very important that whenever you're hooking that kind of stuff up, remember to trip the breaker or unhook the batteries until everything is fully installed. That was a hard lesson learned, but I tell you what, it really stuck out in my mind.